Alright, so first we're going to prepare the dough for the pretzels, and for that you're going to need to combine some warm water, salt, and sugar. Use a whisk to combine everything, and then you're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast. So before we move on to any other steps, we want to check if our yeast is actually alive, so leave it for 5 to 8 minutes to see if your yeast is blooming, just like it is right here. After your yeast has bloomed, you're going to add some neutral tasting oil and whisk everything in. By the way, all ingredient amounts will be in the description down below. Speaking of ingredient amounts, there is no ingredient amount for the flour. You're just going to whisk in enough flour to make a dough which does not stick to your hands. I know it might sound kind of weird, but this is the best way to make dough. You're just going to keep adding little bits of flour and kneading it until you get a nice smooth dough. When you get annoyed of kneading it in the bowl, you're going to place your dough onto the countertop and keep kneading. It's quite tiresome, but you're gonna have to knead for about 10 minutes. I know it sounds like a long time, but trust me, the end product will be worth it. When your dough gets nice and smooth, you're going to shape it into a ball, and you're going to place it in the same bowl as from before, and you're going to add some neutral tasting oil on top. The oil prevents the dough from sticking to any cover that you're gonna add when it's rising. Cover it up and put it in a warm place anywhere from 1 hour to overnight. Once your dough has risen, you're going to take it out and place it on a floured surface, and just flatten it out with your hands. After that, you're going to cut the dough into about 4 to 5 pieces, depending on how big you want the pretzels to be, and then you're going to roll and stretch out the dough until it's quite long. If you can fold the dough in a way where you can already make a pretzel, then the dough is stretched out long enough, just like you see I'm doing here. Fold the dough over itself, twist, and then press down. Now for the next segment of dough, we're going to do something a little more special. Stretch out your dough and flatten it out with your hands, and you're going to place some low moisture whole milk mozzarella on the inside. Now, if you want it to be stuffed, you're going to have to add more dough, less cheese, and you're going to have to crimp it way more tightly. For my purposes, I wanted some of the cheese to be released when cooking and create a cheese skirt around the pretzel. Repeat with all of your segments of dough and place onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. Now we're going to have to rise it for the second time. Cover with foil or plastic wrap and let it rise for about 45 more minutes. Now we're going to make the various sauces that we're going to pair with the pretzels. So first we're going to very finely chop some parsley until it's, well, fine. And then you're going to place it into a bowl, followed by some freshly grated garlic. Then to bring everything together, you're going to add some olive oil and mix. As a little finishing touch, we're going to grate in some Parmesan or Pecorino cheese and mix everything together once more. This liquid magic is going to be brushed onto the cheese pretzels. The honey mustard is straight up just Dijon mustard and honey, simple as that. Mix together until fully combined and both of your sauces are complete. So by now your pretzels are probably done rising, so just put them to the side and add some baking soda to some boiling water. Carefully lay your pretzels in and cook them for about 1 minute. If your pretzels aren't fully submerged, just use a spatula and spoon the water over the top. Once all of your pretzels have swam in the baking soda, put them on a parchment paper lined baking sheet and beat 1 egg. This is going to be our egg wash for the pretzels. Speaking of which, you're going to brush it onto each individual pretzel and make sure to go around every little nook and cranny that you can find. Finish them off with some coarse or flaky salt and put them in the oven at 450. Bake until they're golden brown and look like this. Now, your ordinary pretzels are completely finished. You can just enjoy them with the honey mustard and that's it. But the cheese pretzels are now going to be brushed with the garlic olive oil from earlier. Just like with the egg wash, you want to get every little nook and cranny on the surface of this pretzel. Carefully lay your pretzels onto a plate and place some tomato sauce on the side. The tomato sauce video will be linked in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.